In the name of Allah, the most gracious and most merciful, peace and blessing be upon his messenger Muhammad and those who follow his guidance in goodness until the day of judgment. Today we're going to look at the typology and parallel in the book of Revelation to the Roman Empire who created modern day Christianity, who created the Gospels. It's worth you to mention first this famous saying, I am the first and I am the last. And the Christian evangelists love to use this to show that Jesus is God. But what they convincingly always leave out is the second part of the paragraph, that I died and now I live. So how can you be the first and last if you already died once? They definitely cannot be God because God don't die. So if you say I'm the first and the last and I died, now I live, this is an oxymoron. If you don't know what oxymoron is, look in the dictionary. Now, before in my other video, I have explained to you there's two types of typology. There's a clear typology and there's a hidden typology. It's very important to understand that when this I am the first and last, this saying is a clear typology because why? In the Old Testament, the whole Old Testament, this I am the first and last is only mentioned 3 times in the whole Old Testament in the book of Isaiah. Now, whoever wrote Revelation obviously had the Old Testament in him, just like Matthew had. Everybody had the Old Testament, and they try to put those words on the lip of Jesus to say that, oh, look, this is the parallel. He is God. He's the first and last, like he's prophesied in Isaiah. So this is the clear typology they want you to see. But the hidden typology, we'll see that in the last time Jesus mentioned, because I already mentioned in the book of Revelation, it's mentioned 3 times, I'm the first and last. The first 2 times, both say that I am died and I live. So already those 2 verses had to be thrown out because it's oxymoron. It cannot be recycled. Now, the last time Jesus mentioned, which is the 3rd time in the book of Revelation, chapter 22, he said, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Allahu Akbar. Now, this here already brings a question. A lot of scholars mention, why would he say Alpha and Omega? Because Jesus, as a Hebrew Messiah, a Jewish Messiah, a Torah observant Jew, why would he mention the Greek alphabet? He should say, I am the Alpha and Tav. He should have used the Hebrew alphabet. But why did he use the Greek alphabet? You know why? Because it's never about Jesus. Rather, it's talking about the Roman Empire, who are Greek-speaking Romans. Now, if you put into this one, just picture this. Now, this is what Flavian is saying. I am the Alpha and Omega, the first of the Flavian dynasty, and the last of the prophetic era, the root of David, which is a hidden typology. Now, the Roman Empire have fulfilled this star prophecy of David, the long-awaited Messiah. So I am the first of the Flavian dynasty emperor and the last of the Messianic era. Now it makes sense. I'm the Alpha and Omega, the Greco-Roman Empire. I'm the first of the Flavian dynasty and the last of the prophetic era, the root of David, the star, like Josephus said, he is a star prophecy, the long-awaited Messiah, the ending of the Messianic Jewish era, the ending of Judaism. Now I'm coming as a new Messiah, the Christianity. So the whole book of Revelation is written as a code to show how the Flavians, they claim authority and titles, and they want to show the world, but in a colder way. Just like Josephus, okay, when when he has slept with Paulina, and he said, I'm just quoting, as for the reproaches, as for those disapproval and the insult you did to me, I light upon you, you light upon me, Mantis, Ditis Mantis. I value not the business of name. I didn't stick to my name. I don't care about my name, who you say I am, but I rejoice in the pleasure I reap by what I did to you, but I screwed you by pretending to be a god, envious. So here, again, it's a dead giveaway. That Ditis Mantis said, for the insult, disapproval you showed to me, I don't care about my name anymore, but I'm so happy, I had pleasure in screwing you. That's literally what they did. They screwed you, screwed Paulina, right? He actually screwed her all night because I pretend to be your God. This typology is what it's doing. And the scholars have so many scholars have comment on the book of Revelation, the symbolic numbers, the hidden codes, hidden names, okay? And this is why the author of Revelation mentioned twice in the road, if anyone add or take away anything from this book, he'll be hit with the plague. He'll be written out of the book of life. Why? Because this book of Revelation is carefully written with hidden codes and numbers, numerology. Like we know 666 or 616. This is Nero. This is well known now. There are so many symbolic numbers and codes in the book of Revelation. If you take away some, remove some, this whole codex will break out, and that's why the author warned you not to touch it, because this is a masterpiece. But anyway, I'm not the person with good with numbers, so in this presentation, I'm just going to bring you obvious just literature typology, not the numerical typologies. Just before I move on, I just want to say, we got I am Alpha, I am Titus, I'm Alpha and Omega, the Greco-Roman Empire, the first and the last, the first of the Flavian dynasty and the last of the Messianic Messiah. I was dead, the Roman Empire was dead. Remember, Nero killed himself, then they had the year of the fourth empire. The Roman Empire was dead, was in self-destruction, but now I live. Now Titus was paid to revive the Roman Empire. Now I live forever. So now this is Alpha and Omega. We've done that. Now let's go to the next one. Before I continue, you don't have to agree with me, like I say in every video, but this is a hypothesis of typology. Is not to be exactly to the minute details, but what if it is all written in the minute detail, then what is the fun in that? Come on, those Greco-Roman can do a better job than that. It's like the hidden society I keep mentioning to you. They want to show it to your face, you see it, but you don't see it. And this is what they get a kick out of. So now in Revelation 13, it says this call for a mind with wisdom. So here again, straight away, the author is telling you, this call for a mind with wisdom. So if you don't see it, you don't have wisdom. You have to think out, you have to have a wisdom to see this typology now. The 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman sits. This talking about the Queen of Babylon. There are also 7 kings. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen. 1 is right now, and the other has not come yet. But when he comes, he must remain for only a little while. The beast who once was and now is not is an 8th king. He belonged to the 7th, and now is going to his destruction. Now, remember he mentioned the 7 hills. So now Rome was famously known in the ancient world as the city of the 7 hills. Okay, this is widely recognized by all of the first century Roman literature. Sometimes the Gospels were written. Okay, so the city of Rome was known as 7 hills. And I said there are 7 kings, 5 has fallen. So who are the 5 fallen kings? We know from the first 5, Julian Claudius Caesar died. Julius Caesar, Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, and Claudius. They are the 5 famous Caesars who fall. One is now is Nero, and there's one to come. But when he comes, he must remain only for a little while. Who is to come after Nero is Titus and Vespasian, and he only remained for a little while. You know why? Because Titus, for example, he only ruled as Caesar for 2 years and 2 months. Very short. The whole Flavian dynasty was only 27 years, so it's very short empire. And the beast who once was and now is not is the 8th king. He belonged to the 7th, and he's going to his destruction. So the beast who was, okay, the Roman Empire that was, now is not. Now they changed their theology from the empire cult to Christianity. And who is this 8th king? But he belongs to the 7th, but he's not one of them. Now this is very, very obvious that if this Revelation was written after 100 CE, so this is all those emperors already died. But who was in charge? Trojan and his cousin Hadrian. Okay, they don't belong into the Flavian dynasty anymore. They are a new dynasty, but they served as long-time loyalists in the Flavian dynasty, in the court as a counsel for Vespasian and Titus. They were very trusted by the Flavian family, and they are the 8th king because they become Emperor Caesar after the Flavians, but they also belong to the line of those who created Christianity in order to destroy the Messianic Judaism. So this beast that once was is the 8th king. Now, but he also belonged to the 7th because why? He continued this mission of creating Christianity in order to destroy Messianic Judaism. So all those kings, all those 7 kings and the 8th one, they all interlinked together because either they had a direct part or indirect part, or starting the idea of destroying Judaism, starting from Julius Caesar. Okay, he brought the Herodians, who are the Ashkenazis, you can say, of modern day. He brought them into power as river Jews to take control, and he started this mission of destroying Messianic Judaism, and they all link together. So this is again a typology, and another very obvious typology is we all know the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And they are the 4 horsemen are in exact chronicle sequence to the 4th stage of Roman Empire, meaning what? From Julius Caesar, who ended the Roman Republican independence, who became supreme ruler, and then he steps down. Augustus became the first Roman Caesar to have ultimate rule. So this Roman Empire officially begins in 27 BC. Okay, before it was Republic of Rome. So the Roman Empire officially begins at 27 BC. So these 4 horsemen representing from the 27 BC, the beginning of the Roman Empire, until the day this book was written. So first, the four horsemen, let's not digress. Let's get to it quickly. The first horseman, as mentioned in the book of Revelation, is a white horse. He sit on it, had a bow and a crown, and he went out conquering and conquer. Now this is straight up Julius Caesar, and you can say his son Augustus if you want, because why? He had a bow and a crown, and conquering. Now we know very well the Julius Caesar and his son Augustus, they were worshiping Apollos, because even his stepson Augustus has attributed many military victories to the help of Apollo god. And they even built a temple of Apollo next to the palace. And this Apollo is famous for his bow. And a crown was given to him. Again, Julius Caesar, famously wrote the leaf crown, the Jesus, they put a crown of spikes around his head. This is what the Julius Caesar, he famously always write, they called the laurel, I think was called, the leaf thing around his head. So a crown was given to him. He was the first person to do that, and then after that, every single Roman Empire had to follow what he did. They wrote the leaf that was first read by Julius Caesar. So he wrote a crown, and he conquering and conquer. When are conquering, and Julius Caesar is known in history as one of the greatest conquerors and military commanders in history. Not just in the Roman Empire, he was a great conqueror. So this, again, first, the white horse is paralleling the beginning of Roman Empire, Julius Caesar and Augustus. Now, second horse is Fury Red, went out, and it was granted to the one who sit on it to take away peace from the earth, and that people should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword. So this second horse, whoever sat on it, was going to take peace from earth and going to kill one another. This is talking about Cologia, a Nero, or if you can say both, but I think it's more talking about Cologia. Now, this Roman Empire, he turned his sword inwards within the Roman Empire, take away peace within the Roman Empire, and people will kill each other in the empire, because he's very well known to be ruled by fear and tyranny, and he caused terror and public cruelty, and he done many countless executions in the Roman Empire without trial, and he grows so paranoid, and he seized the wealth and execute nobles and family members who he becomes suspicious that was threatening his power, and then he was assassinated by a sword. He was killed by a sword, and he became the first Roman Empire to be assassinated. And this is talking about him. And the third horse is a black horse, and this is talking about Claudius. He sit on it with a pair of balances, a pair of scale. Remember, in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and three measures of barley for a penny, and do not harm the oil and wine. So this third horse, he's something to do with money, with scales in hand and measure of wheat for penny. So this is talking about Claudius. Why? Because this scale in his hand symbolized taxation and tributes and grain rationing. When Claudius was in charge, he implemented these kind of heavy taxes and tributes and grain rationing in his empire, and he tightened control over the food supply and revenue for the people in the Roman Empire. And it says a measure of wheat for a penny. So it's known very well, a penny, a denarius, what is in the Greek. This was a standard daily wage for a laborer. So a Roman laborer in one day, he will earn 1 denarius. So what he's saying there, a day's wage for a little measure of wheat is showing how rising of the cost of living in the people in the working class. And it says, do not harm the oil and wine. Look, I'm not doing the best job here presenting, because there's a lot in detail. So I hope when you listen, you can go open Book of Revelation and read it yourself. So do not harm the oil and the wine. So what are people suffering under this poverty and high inflation? They did not harm the oil and the wine to the rich, to the elites. They still got their oil and their share of wine. They still live in luxury. This is exactly what we're talking about. Now, then it came the fourth horse and the last horse. It's a power horse. It says, his name that sat on it was Death, and hell followed him, and power was given given them over the fourth part of the earth, 1/4 of the earth, to kill with sword, with hunger, with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Now, this power color already represents death, the wasteland, the besieged Judea, from starvations and diseases, after they destroyed the second temple. And the name of him who sit on it was Death, and hell followed him. Now, Josephus said when Titus was facing, when they conquered Judea, more than 1 million Jews were killed in this conquest. They raped and crucified everybody. So they ran out trees to even crucify. So unlike Titus said, if you repent, I'll let you leave. I'll still forgive you. He definitely didn't forgive them. He didn't do what he said. He was a hypocrite because he definitely unalived whoever escaped, even the innocent people. He unalived all of them. Okay, took them as slaves, put them in the Colosseum to be eaten by lions and stuff like that. Now, it says here, authority over a fourth of the earth. Now, Judea was counted as 1/4 of the Roman Empire. Or if you can say that, Judea was split into, the Holy Land was split into 4 sections. So here again, it's saying the conquering of the Holy Land is 1/4. Like he took control of 1/4 of the Roman Empire. Now, to kill with the sword, with hunger, with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Again, we already talked about killing with the sword, with hunger. Famously, when he surrounded Jerusalem with the war, we know the starvation, Mary eat her baby, okay, as a Passover lamb in Josephus, again, a typology. And beasts of the earth, and Josephus said, they were wild dogs were eating the dead bodies of those Jewish Messianic Jews, and people didn't even bother to bury the dead anymore because they don't know any time they can be killed. So they didn't even bother. So many people died. They didn't even have time to bury the dead. They just piled up everywhere. Okay, so again, you don't have to agree with this typology, but it's definitely there and it's definitely parallel that you cannot deny. Okay, 16 minutes. Now, I just want to be quick. Let's just do one more. I have 2 more, but just do the one more. I think this one is a very obvious one. In Revelation 13, verse 11, the beast from the earth. He said, when I saw another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and spoke like a dragon. 2 horns and like a lamb. Again, lamb is Jesus. 2 horns, we're spacing Titus. Okay, and he exercised all the authority of the first beast in his presence. The first beast was the Julio-Claudian dynasty. This new beast, the Flavian dynasty, and caused the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast. Those deadly wounds were healed. Okay, so the people, the imperial worship, people was worshiping the first beast, and we know that the deadly wound was healed because we know Nero killed himself. We talked about already, the Roman Empire was going down. He performed great signs, so that he even made fire come down from heaven and earth in the sight of men. And this is very important, he deceives those who dwell on earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on earth to make an image of the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. And who was wounded by the sword? Jesus on the cross. So he's saying he created this beast for the earth to deceive the people to worship this beast. Who is this beast? Christianity, Jesus, who was wounded by the sword, but he healed, he recovered. Again, a parallel. Okay, the healing of the wounded beast is a deliberate parallel to the Jesus' resurrection. But in reverse, okay, he also talking about how the Flavian dynasty restored the imperial power for the Roman Empire. Again, 2 type of typology: the clear typology, the hidden typology is multi-layered. Okay, so this text, this whole book of Revelation was designed to make 2 events look like a complementary prophecy. One spiritual one, one political one. Okay, one is showing Jesus, other one is showing the Roman Empire Flavian agenda. And this is, like I said to you, one of the greatest projects, but we always found problem with it because, like no book's perfect besides the Quran, the book of Allah, right? Because everything that man made has mistake. Like I said to you, I'm the Alpha and the Omega, I'm the first and the last, and I died. I'm sure that whoever wrote the book of Revelation, he didn't think 2,000 years later there's going to be like, millions of people, ministries and universities, theologians to check and revise every single word and try to extract exegesis out of it, and then they can see there's a problem with it because whoever wrote it, he didn't gonna think like we think like today. All these years of scholarship to pick and choose and started to pick and analyze. Obviously, he gonna have a problem because if he knew that when he said I was dead, our life's it's gonna be an oxymoron, he wouldn't have wrote that in there, right? Because it's a man-made book. If he could revise version and revise again and revise, he would have taken it out of it. Like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they keep revising. But with the book of Revelation, he did it once, and didn't revise it. If he would have made another Revelation 2, 3, 4, just like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they keep revising it, they would have taken a lot of things out and made a lot of things better. But again, when it's a man-made book, you're always going to find mistakes, and this is why Quran is perfect. Again, This is not to insult. We don't like to insult any people, any religion. This is not but an academic study. I'm just really regurgitating what I read from the scholars as a hypothesis. Okay, I'm not saying it's 100% true. Okay, but it could be true. But it's up to you, reader, who listen to go verify and check for yourself. And even if you don't believe it, but it's a very interesting point to point out. It's just extra information. If you didn't learn anything, if you don't want, if you still think Bible is written by God, it's up to you. But now at least you know something about the Roman history as well, right? So I ask Allah to guide the sincere people to Islam. Subhanaka Alhamdulillah, la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka.